This is Module 6, 7th grade, on Lesson 6, Drawing Geometric Shapes. This is where you're going to need that protractor, ruler. If you have a compass, that would be great, but I'm okay if you freehand your circles. That's not a problem, because to get out a compass is kind of hard, and to teach you how to use one is going to be time consuming. So just a ruler or a protractor would be great. So I'll give you a second to go grab those if you need to. And then I'm going to start here. Number 1, use your ruler to draw these segments of the following lengths. Now, since I'm using a tablet, I can't really use a ruler at the same time. So I'm going to kind of eyeball my lengths, but you need to make yours to be these lengths here: 4 centimeters, 7.2 centimeters, and 12.8 centimeters. All right, so 4 centimeters would be probably about that long. 7.2. I'm kind of guessing here. Make sure your lines are nice and straight. And then a 12.8. All right. That's about it for that one. Number 2. Draw complementary angles so that one angle is 35 degrees. So this is where you're going to need your protractor. Okay, on your protractor, you want to find 35 degrees. What I always have you guys do in class is you're going to start with a baseline. Okay, match your protractor up to this corner right here, and then find the 35 that's on the inside over here. So I'm going to assume 35 is probably right about here. Again, using a tablet here, it's a little harder. And then connect this. So we're going to say that's 35 degrees. Now it says draw complementary angles. Well, as you all know, complementary means that they add up to 90. So I'm going to underline my clue word there and put that it's going to equal 90. So 90 take away 35 leaves me with 55. So I'm going to draw my 90, which goes straight down. I'm going to put in my right square, and this is going to be a 55 degree angle here. So the only one I'm really going to guess on or measure on here is this measurement there. Now it says draw vertical angles so that one angle is 125 degrees and label its measurement. All right, so again, start with the baseline. Even with vertical, start with the baseline. Okay, now since we're doing verticals, let's go ahead and make our vertex right here in the center. Now what I want you to do is start over here on this side of your protractor and go all the way around on the inside till you find 125. It might be like right about there. All right. Now take your protractor, turn it around once you have that little dot there, and connect that dot with your vertex and continue it all the way through, because we're making vertical angles. So now let's label. So this here is 125 degrees. Now, if this angle is 125, its vertical angle is also 125 degrees. Now, it didn't ask me to solve the other ones, but I can, because I know that if I take 125 and I add in this part to it, I get a straight line, or a straight angle, I should say. So I'm going to do 180 minus 125, and this gives me 55. And I'm going to use a double arch with that, because the 2 arches is kind of like the tack marks that we learned. That indicates that these 2 are the same. And you'll see that I use single arch marks here. So the more angles you start to accumulate, you can kind of arch them in patterns. You just say 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So that way you can see which ones correspond. All right, let's try number 4. Number 4 says, draw 3 distinct segments with the lengths of 2 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and 6 centimeters. And then use your compass to create the circle. All right, so I'm going to do 2 of them with you, and then you're going to do 1 on your own. So take your ruler, measure 2 centimeters, which is not very long. We're going to label it 2 centimeters. Now, it wants that to also be the radius. Now, radius is when it goes halfway through the circle. So that means I'm going to make my center of the circle right here on the end. And so on the outside here, I'm going to start and I'm going to go all the way around and bring it back up to this line where this is now going to be halfway through the circle. So you have to kind of make your circle a little bit bigger on this side. Don't cut it too short. So we're going to go kind of like this. And if you have a compass, you can definitely use it, but I understand freehanding is fine. My circle didn't come out all that wonderful, but the more important part is the measurement here. Now I'm going to do the 4 centimeter. Might want to give yourself some room here. And again, that's the center of your circle. So you're going to start on the outside here and you're going to go all the way around. Okay. I want you to draw the 6 centimeter one. So you draw the 6 centimeter one right here. Okay. If you need to pause the video, that's fine. All right. Number 5, draw 3 adjacent angles, A, B, and C, so that A is 25 degrees, B is a 90, so it's a straight, it's a right angle, I should say. Straight up and down line is what I wanted to say there. And C is a 50. All right, the easiest one to start with is B, because that's a 90. So let's go ahead and draw our baseline. And I'm going to use this baseline for all of my measurements. And I'm going to get my protractor and I'm going to set it down right here on my vertex and go straight up to where the 90 is and put a dot. And then connect those two using the ruler side. And I'm going to put in my right square. And I'm going to label this 90. And we're going to call this B. All right, now let's do the other measurements. If I take this same baseline, all right, and I create a 25. So I could use this, find my protractor, kind of come around. 25 is going to be like right about there. All right, and this will be 25 degrees. And that's an adjacent angle because they share a side. So there's one adjacent angle. They wanted 3. So we're going to call this one A. And now I need a 50. All right, so the 50 I'm going to do a little differently here because I don't want to cut this 90 up 3 different times. So I'm going to use this as my baseline, but I'm going to turn it upside down, okay? So now your protractor is going this way, all right, and the flat side's right here. So turn your protractor around and go from this point and come out here and measure to where it says 50 degrees, which would be right about there. And we're going to aim this down. And here we go. This is 50 degrees, which is C. So where are my adjacent sides? We have one right there, and we have one right there. We needed both those lines in order to create all 3 angles. And that's it. All right, let's try drawing a rectangle. We're going to draw a rectangle A, B, C, D. AB is the same as AB is the same as CD, which is 8 centimeters. All right, so let's start there. Let's make the top 8 centimeters. So take your ruler side, measure out 8 centimeters, be probably about yay big. And we're going to label that AB. Now, if AB is 8 centimeters, so will the bottom here. But first, we need to put some sides on. So it's saying from BC and AD is 3 centimeters. So start here, turn your ruler, and measure down 3 centimeters. And we're going to call that C. And over here, we have 3 centimeters. We're going to call that D. And then if you've done this perfectly with a ruler, you could just go ahead and connect these two and label it 8 centimeters as well. And that's it. All right, let's go on to the next page. All right, number 7 is just like we did on number 1, all right? But it's a little bit different because they want you to use your compass, which you're not going to do. I'm going to show you what to do instead of using your compass, to mark where D is equivalent. All right, so let's try this. Let me read it to you first. AB is 5 centimeters long. So take your ruler aside. We're going to measure out 5 centimeters. And we're going to label that AB. Draw a second segment longer than AB. It doesn't say how long, just make it longer. There. Okay, one of the endpoints is a C. Then it says use your compass to find out where the second segment would go so that it's equal. Well, equal would be right about there. So I'm going to mark it like that, and that's pretty much what they wanted your compass to do, was just to mark it. And then we're going to call that D. That's it. That's all they wanted you to do. Let's look at 8. 8 says we're going to draw basically 2 circles because I have 2 centers here and I have 2 radius. The length is of your choice. All right, so you can make them pretty decent size here. I wouldn't go so big because it will take up your whole paper, and I wouldn't go so small because it'd be hard. But I do see that I need a radius of AB. So I'm going to do a radius here, and I'm actually going to kind of connect these, and you'll see why. I'm creating 2 circles because, well, it says I'm creating 2 circles right here. Okay, and the radius of one circle has a center of A. So this needs to be the center of one of the circles, and the B needs to be the center of the other circle. So one radius is going in this direction, the other radius is going in the opposite direction. So if I keep this as the center, I can kind of go right in the middle here, okay, and realize that's kind of where the 2 circles overlapped. So this is my center, which means I'm going to go all the way out to B, and I'm going to go all the way around. There's 1. Now, I'm going to do my other circle, and I'm going to make this the center of the circle, the B. This is now my center. So I go to A, and I'm going to go all the way around. And hopefully your circle looks better than mine. It's a lot easier when you're doing it on paper versus a tablet, but there you go. That's it. All right, I'm going to let you guys do number 9. I know it looks like a lot of wording there, so let me see if I can break it down for you. You're going to draw a segment AB that's 4 centimeters. So make a line that's AB that's 4 centimeters. Then create a vertex and name it O. All right, so just put a dot somewhere on that line and label it O. And then you're going to create an angle of COB. Now, before you create that angle, COB is 30 degrees. So make your line. I'm going to kind of rough sketch it here. Make a dot, find 30, connect it, so on. Then also make another dot on that same line, call it P. And your angle QPO is also 30 degrees. All right, so curious to see what you're going to come up with, but basically you're going to have one baseline, 2 angles, both angles are 30. See if you can kind of work that out. The entire length of this is 12 centimeters, just in case you didn't see that part at the beginning. So try that one on your own. That's going to be one that I grade. Now I'm going to help you with 10 because 10 has a little bit more complexity to it. So here we go. We're going to draw a segment AB of 4 centimeters long. All right, so let's do that first. We're just going to kind of break this up. I have an AB. I'm going to measure that out to be 4 centimeters. Draw 2 circles that are the same size where the center of one is A and the center of the other is B. So exactly what we did on number 8. Same thing. I'm going to try and make my circles a little better now. So I'm going to start with B to create my A circle. And then I'm going to start with A to create my B circle. Okay, did that. What else do they want me to do? All right. Label the points where the 2 circles intersect as C and D. So where did they intersect? Intersect means where did they crash together? So there and there. So we're going to call this one C and this one D. Join AC with a segment. So join AC. All right. Join BC. Got it. And then join AD and join BD. And that's it. This is a true example of just following directions. And that's it. So the last problem of this worksheet is problem 11. And I'm going to let you guys solve that one on your own. That'll be one that I grade. So this ends this tutorial.